And I'm asking you to stop now. This is too much. That's my best friend. And my team. And the words start shaky and die in my throat. I cannot even think them. I'm asking you to give me a minute to figure this out. Okay. I watch him watch me for long, long moments, his need to respect my boundaries at war with his need for me, the determination in his eyes that doesn't quite hide the pain. His heart may be as cracked as mine. You know it, don't you? He asks. What? From the very start, you had all the power. From the very start, I was in the palm of your hand. I did, I think. I definitely do now. Yes. He smiles, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes. As long as you are aware, Scarlett. I don't even have to run from him because he's the one to leave. He kisses my forehead and turns around, and then I watch him walk away until he's just a fuzzy figure, blurred by my tears. Chapter 65. I'm not a coward. Or maybe I am. Am I? I'm not saying that you are. Or aren't. Barb muses, eating a bite of mac and cheese I made from scratch like the ingrate she is. Like Ludwig taught us, some questions don't need to be solved, but dissolved. I don't recall meeting anyone named Ludwig. Wittgenstein. Renowned Austrian philosopher. I sigh. I knew it wasn't the bones that took up space in your head. Perhaps it's aphorisms. She licks her spoon. The point is, Ludwig wouldn't want you to keep wondering whether you did the right thing by leaving California. You should simply dissolve the problem and accept that you did what you needed for your peace of mind. Are you sure that's what Ludwig would want? Of course. He personally told me. He always cared so very much about your well-being. He did, didn't he? Plus, you're doing your internship with Michaela here in St. Louis. True, technically. I just hadn't planned on piecing out of California the day after the NCAA. On a needlessly overpriced flight, without saying goodbye to anyone, leaving uneaten groceries in the fridge. I've been home for nearly 10 days, and it took me about half of that to explain to Barb why I turned up on her doorstep with no warning at all. The rest has been spent trying to sort out my feelings. You've always been slow at that kind of stuff, Barb says now, over the bowl of mac and cheese for which I bought expensive pecorino. Using her money. But take your time. It's not like there's a strapping Swedish lad with a Stanford med acceptance waiting for you. My feelings for Lucas that's not the problem. What's the problem then? Right. What is the problem? Do you think that? Do you think that a relationship that started so messily and with so many hiccups and hurting other people can have a happy future? Barb smiles. I think every relationship is the same. Which means, you won't know until you try. A few days ago, I started receiving the first tentative texts from my teammates. Are you okay? Bella, if you need someone to talk to, please know that I'm here. Bree, hey, what I said was messed up. I didn't have all the facts or any, and I still decided to run my mouth. I'm sorry. Victoria, not to mention the constant email communication with Coach Seema. My cardiologist has advised me not to involve myself in drama, and I know the season is over, and I have no right to make demands of your time. I am, however, sending you a picture of me receiving your gold medal. Please come collect it at your earliest convenience. I am proud of you. The things in your locker are now in a box in my office. P.S. Stanford placed second. And I understand that this is a delicate time for you, but I cannot stress enough the importance of signing up for the Olympic trials. You are already qualified. This needs to be done as soon as possible. And I hope you took a well-deserved break, but you better be practicing again now. He's lucky, because I am, though it has little to do with the trials. And everything with the fact that diving is, once again, my happy place. I spend long days interning at the hospital, then go to my high school club, where I train mostly on my own. No objectives. Just vibes. It's truly incredible how much you have improved, Coach Kumar tells me. Such good work, all around. And yet, as the days go by and I give myself enough time to think, I'm not certain that it's true. In the past year I've become a better diver, sure. But what about the rest? The near career-ending injury I described. I write in the millionth draft of my med school essay, played a big role in my decision to become an orthopedic surgeon, but no more so than my stepmother. She is the single most influential figure throughout my life, the person who rescued me from an abusive situation when it would have been much easier to simply rescue herself. Thanks to her, I know what courage is and… Okay, the last sentence requires work. If I was courageous, I'd be with Lucas, wouldn't I? If I was courageous, I'd go back to California and confront Penn. On an impulse, I open a blank Word document. Dear Penn, I should have been more transparent about my feelings for Lucas, and for that I am sorry. You fucked up, too, though. I get that you're hurting. But maybe you shouldn't have made a scene and stolen my gold medal moment, especially after what happened to me at my last finals. Maybe what you said about Lucas and me bonding over sex was insulting. Maybe you shouldn't have treated Lucas and me like wind-up toys. Maybe you don't get to make us kiss and then break us apart. Maybe you cannot be the center of everyone's world. Maybe I want for Lucas to be the center of mine. I don't send it. However, I ruminate over that for the following day. Until in the middle of an arm stand, my feelings are finally sorted out. Anger and disappointment toward Penn and the way she acted. And toward Lucas. In the locker room. I pull up his number too, I'm not sure. Call him. Text him. Send him an I fucked up emoji. Then I see the location under his name. Shit, I say. Almost immediately, an idea buzzes through me. I dial Barb. Yep. First question. Would it be okay if I took a break from my internship? Sure. You've already done way more than you were supposed to. So I can't see Michaela complaining about it. Plus, you're a Nepo baby. I prefer legacy artist. Second question. Can I borrow some money? Borrow? You mean, you'd later return it? Probably not. I want to say yes, but I feel like the wise thing would be to first ask, how much money? I'm not sure. Enough to fly to Sweden. The noise she makes is so triumphant. I have to move the phone away from my ear. Scarlett, baby, finally. Me bank account, yes, Sue bank account. Within reason. I head out of the swim club, Googling flights without reason. Sorry, Barb. Trying to figure out what's the earliest time I could leave if I first stop home to grab my passport and a pair of clean underwear, until someone stops me with a hand on my arm. Vandy? When I look up, I find Penelope Ross. Chapter 66. I know you don't owe me anything, she tells me the second we're sitting together in the park across the club. No benches are devoid enough of bird shit to meet our lofty standards, so we say a little prayer about the weight limit and settle on the swings, like we did last summer in Coach Seema's yard. Where it all started. Penn's head hangs low, carefully studying the groove her shoe carves in the sand. Miriam said you weren't in California. And I remembered you were still sharing your location. And, she shrugs. I could have called. But I decided that behavior as horrendous as mine deserved a grand gesture. I consider myself a nice person, but I'm not even tempted to deny it. You don't have to accept any apology. I just wanted to look you in the eye when I said, she seems to realize that she's not, in fact, looking me in the eye and lifts her head. I'm sorry. Vandy. I screwed up, big time. And I have no excuses. I study her familiar, beloved face. She seems tired. Anguished. In the gray of this cloudy day, her hair is duller than usual. I never tried to take anything away from you. God, I know. Her face screws up, like the memory of her words pains her. I know, Vandy. I know you. And, even if you had been trying. Neither luck nor the NCAA title were mine. The things I said. I was out of my mind. I could tell you where I was at. But I wouldn't want you to think that I'm trying to find excuses for my behavior. Tell me. Because I've been trying to wrap my head around what I did to deserve to be treated that way. And, nothing. She reaches out to grasp my hand, and glances away when I instinctively pull back. I knew you and Luck were seeing each other, but… For years I had to pry personal information out of him with a crowbar half the time, and you were not the type to do that. I figured your relations would just be sexual, and never progress. And honestly, while I was seeing Theo, I barely thought about you too, which is not the behavior of someone in love. She rubs her forehead with her palm. And you and I grew so close. And I couldn't believe how lucky I was. When you won Winter Nationals, I was genuinely happy. But then you went to Amsterdam, and Carissa took pictures of you and Luck together and sent them to me. Carissa? She kept my number over the years, apparently. Jesus. Planning to use it for evil all along, I'm sure. She thought she'd caught Luck cheating on me with my friend and sent an entire fucking photo shoot of you guys playing tourist. He and we both realized years ago that we had little in common. He stayed with me out of gratitude because I helped him through the loss of his mom. And I don't think I ever admitted it to myself before last week. But I stayed with him because being Lucas Blankvist's girlfriend felt like the biggest middle finger to every single bully who'd tormented me in high school. She shakes her head. Like she's ashamed of that. So when Carissa sent those pics, I told myself that I didn't care, but the way he looked at you. I don't think he's ever wanted anything or anyone the way he wants you. And that hurt because I was with him for years. And then Theo ended things, and the false positive results. I realized how alone I was. You and Lucas were so supportive, but when I stayed with him, he slept on the couch every night, and I could tell that all he wanted was to be around you. He only became interested in conversations when you were mentioned. He'd walk me to practice just to find some hiding spot and watch you dive. It had never been like that between us. I started questioning my entire fucking life. And then, well, at the NCAA, I was the favorite, but you won. And Lucas was celebrating with you, looking so smitten. I was in pain. And someone had to be the villain of my story. But then my head cleared. You weren't there for me to apologize, so I started with Lucas and he laid out all the facts. Everything that I should have already known about him, myself, us, he packaged it for me to see clearly. How little we shared. We were the closest at 16, not when he moved to the US. Not now as adults. When we were children. I never even cared about his dreams, and we'd been codependent friends. But our romantic relationship was long dead, even if we weekend at Bernie'd it for years. Lucas was reliable, and I knew I could always fall back on him. She laughs. He was my crash mat. And when I saw him kiss you, I felt like you were pulling him from under my feet. And it hurt 5 times harder, because it was you, and I'd never had a friend like you. I snort. Pen. You have so many friends. Everyone loves you. And they're great. But with you, it was always so easy. You never judged me or made me feel anything but accepted. And when I realized that I'd be losing both Luck and you, I lashed out. I acted like Luck was a sandwich, stolen by a seagull, and... Are you saying that I'm the seagull? I think so, yeah. I fight a smile. Wow, thanks. Better than what I am. Which is the fucking villain. I sigh. This time, I'm the one reaching for her hand, cold, rough, too thin, surrounded by mine. I don't think anything is as simple as that. There were just choices that we made. And consequences. I shrug. I also made mistakes. I could have told you that I was falling for him. And I probably would have still been a bitch about it. She stands with a wistful smile. I came here to apologize. What I said was cruel and false. I stole from you the joy of your first gold medal. I want to make it up to you, but I don't know how. If you no longer want to be my friend, that's fair. And if you want to make me work for it, it's also fair. I will, believe me. If you want to think about it, take your time. I nod. Thank you. My stomach feels buoyant. For the first time in days. I'm not going to be swallowed by quicksand. For telling me all this. Thank you for listening, Vandy. I watch her step away, and when she's a few feet from me, something occurs to me. Actually, she turns around. Are you going back to California? A nod. I stop fighting my smile. I'm going to the airport, too. In case you need a ride. Chapter 67. Jan is my accomplice. And I'm proud of myself for recruiting him. Initially, I just hoped to get an address from him. Then I found out that he was visiting Stockholm, and he became my co-conspirator. I have a hotel booked. I tell him when he picks me up at the airport. He looks at my face. Then at my backpack. Then at my face again. You travel very lightly. He might be angry at me, I explain. We didn't leave off on the best terms. I'm not going to stick around if he doesn't want me. He laughs and puts my bag in the trunk, shaking his head like I'm warning him about the dangers of chemtrails and mind control. Everyone around me talks in the same beautiful, sing-songy way I've come to associate with the Swedish language. The colors seem more vibrant than back home, though it might just be because I know that Lucas is nearby. And because, past 10 p.m., the sun is still in the sky. Won't go down at all. Jan explains. It's early June, just like in midsummer, and... Wait a minute. No human sacrifices, right? What are you, oh? That movie. He sighs. Ari Aster has a lot to answer for. And Ingmar Bergman is right there. Anyway, how do you want to play it? What do you mean? You said you wanted a grand gesture. What's your plan? Oh, well, I guess I thought that flying over an ocean and a good chunk of land where toilets are holes in the ground and water is served without ice would kind of be it. Jan is unimpressed. But what will you do once you see Lucas? Oh, had I considered that far? No. Yes. I know that I'll tell him that I... Did you bring flowers? I don't think it's legal. Fragile ecosystems and such. Then are you proposing to him? What? I'm 21. Jan shrugs. When you know, you know. Did you learn a complicated TikTok dance? Would he even enjoy that? Who wouldn't? I clearly didn't think this through. Well, you better fix that quickly, he says, pulling into the driveway of a red two-story house. The roof is pitched, and the green of the surrounding trees is almost cartoonishly bright. Because we're here. Your father's home? Yes. He's very excited about you coming, by the way. Oh, God. You told him? Of course. I cover my face. Pray for the car seat upholstery to wrap around me like a boa constrictor and release me from this ignominy. He's very happy. I told him you're smart and you like nature. He's glad you're Lucas's first girlfriend. I am not his girlfriend, and he dated Penn for 7 years. Jan shrugs. Dad never met her. So he thinks Lucas made her up. This is a terrible mistake. It's nearly 11. Is Lucas usually awake? No, not usually. Crap. Then I should go to the hotel and come back tomorrow? Well... He's not usually awake, but he clearly is tonight. He takes the keys out of the ignition to point at the house, and when I follow that line, Lucas is leaning against the porch baluster, arms crossed on his chest. His usual barefoot self, but wearing jeans and a t-shirt, not PJs. He does not have the look of someone who just got out of bed. In fact, the curl of his mouth holds no trace of surprise. He's been waiting for me. You told him, I accuse. I did not, Jan assures me, placid as usual. Believe me. I would not get on the bad side of my future sister-in-law this early in the relationship. He slips out, and short of carjacking this vehicle and flooring it back to the airport, I have no choice but to do the same. But after a couple of steps I freeze, because Lucas is coming toward us, that half-smug, half-pleased smile still on his beautiful face. He tells Jan something in Swedish that starts with tack, thank you, and contains the word troll, but despite my religious Duolingo sessions, I cannot follow any further. Jan grasps his shoulder as he passes by, and then turns around before entering the house. Scarlet. Lycka till. Good luck. Thanks, I reply, too weakly for the sound to carry. I'll need it. No. You won't, Lucas says, clearly amused. What did I tell you? Many things. For reasons that probably only Sam could list, I'm already crying. A couple of fat, lonely tears. Which one are you referring to? He shakes his head. His fingers come up to dry my cheeks, and my heart swells so much and so fast, I feel as though I could take flight. In the palm of your hand. Scarlet. From the very start. I screw my eyes shut at the sweet, bitter pain of his words. I have to wind down. Things to say. Peace to make. How did you know I was coming? Did Penn tell you? You never stopped sharing your location with me. I know that. But still, you'd have to have checked where I was too. Oh! I can't sleep unless I know where you are. His shrug is delighted. Unapologetic. And during the day, I just feel better keeping tabs. Control, you know. He leans in and presses a single, soft kiss to my hair, murmuring, "I'd say sorry, but you should probably just get used to the way I am." My laugh is choked. Breathless. "So you just know everything?" "Not everything." He pulls back. Even the blue of his eyes is more vivid. "I know that you came here to see me, even though I did briefly wonder if you were just in the mood for damn sugar. I can only imagine the rest. That you're scared, for instance." "Petrified." "More like it," I whisper. Another tear streaks down to my chin. This is so messy. Falling in love? I nod. And I did it so deeply, desperately, fast. It's just pure violence. The ultimate loss of control, huh? I breathe deeply. "But we've done this before," he points out, patient, almost detached. "You've given up control. You've trusted me to take over. And you never took advantage. Nor will I." "What else?" He drums his fingers on his bicep. "I assume you want us to be together?" I nod again. "That's going to require some discussions. I have to make plans for my future. You have to make plans for yours. Let's do that together, okay?" It all sounds so simple coming from his mouth. The alphabet. The most basic of arithmetic. Us. Being in love. "What about med school?" I ask, trying not to sniffle. There are a couple of ways to deal with that. He's clearly considered this. At length. I could see if the schools that accepted me are willing to grant a 1-year deferral. That way we could choose a place where both. Lucas, no. You can't waste a year just for Scarlett. His fingers come up to my chin. Grab it gently, but tight. The only time wasted is time we are apart. My heart might beat out of my chest. I could also keep my commitment to Stanford. "If you're interested in staying in California," he continues casually. "We'd be together next year, while you finish up undergrad. And I have no doubt you'd get in the following year. I can't ask you to make life decisions based on me. That's okay, because no asking is involved. Scarlett, this is it for me. I'm in. But what if we start dating and we don't work out?" He seems to find the question hilarious. We've been dating for nearly a year in everything but name. We work together, in every possible way. Except the chaos you live in. But I can probably train that out of you. Punishments. Positive reinforcement. He pushes my hair back. You respond well to that kind of stuff. But what if? Scarlett, he interrupts. A little less restrained. Listen to me. The last few years, I did everything I could to be happy with someone else and did not manage. His hand slides down my arm slowly. Long fingers twine with mine. And then I spent the last few months trying not to fall for you and failed so fucking miserably that he shakes his head. This is it. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. No more lies. I frown. Did you lie to me? By omission. What did you not tell me? How early I fell for you. How soon I realized it. The enormity of it. I close my eyes, so overwhelmed, so intensely full of Lucas, that looking at him might be too much. I thought you'd be angry at me. For being such a coward back at the NCAA. Difficult to be angry at someone when their actions hurt them as much as they hurt me. I look away. Clear my throat. Well, I guess we covered a lot of ground. But I should still say what I came to say. Which is, first of all, thank you. For the past couple of weeks. For giving me the space I needed to figure myself out and to get my shit together. I thought it was very nice of you to respect my wishes and his shoulders shake silently. What? Don't be too grateful. I'm being pulled into him. Thick arms. The width of his hand on my lower back. Lips to my temple and his enveloping scent. I have a plane ticket for St. Louis 2 days from now. We're going to have to change that, huh? I bury my head into the familiar warmth of his throat. Feel his pulse steady against my cheeks. The U.S. Olympic trials are next week, I say. He nods. Should we go? It's up to you. That we. I think I'd like to, yeah. I wrap my arms tight around his shoulders. It would be nice if I qualified. I could go to Melbourne with you. You should come whether you qualify or not. His hand slides up my back. I don't think I want to let you out of my sight again this summer. There is no space between him and me. No air between the hot tensions spilling in my stomach and the shift of his muscles under my hands. I can't be like Penn. You never have been. What I mean is, I don't think I'd be able to ever live apart. And I'm greedy. I wouldn't be able to be with other people or handle an open relationship or take breaks. That's good. Because I know you think that I'm not capable of jealousy, and maybe I thought that too. But if you were to ask me for any of those things, it would gut me, Scarlett. It would absolutely end me. And if it were non-negotiable, if it were a condition to be with you, I'm still not sure I'd be able to say no. His stubble scratches my cheek. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to say it before, but... I take a deep breath. Turn until my mouth is against the shell of his ear. Kiss him underneath it before I say, I love you. So much. All the things you talked about in Amsterdam. On the balcony. I want them too. With you. For the next 1,000,000 years. Million? Hyperbole? Not this time. His smile is easy. Quick. Wide. I don't see it, but it blooms against my skin. Wow. I pull back, puzzled. Wow. I just told him that I love him and he... You know what we call this? I shake my head. His fingers close around my waist, and he's picking me up, lifting me high. And it's my turn to bend down and kiss him, but before I manage, he whispers against my lips, a midsummer miracle. Epilogue. A few years later. Lucas Blomqvist, MD, PhD. He hasn't seen her in 2 days. Spotting her on the other side of the hospital cafeteria doesn't count. Neither does waking up and finding her in his arms, eyes closed and breathing soft. Too exhausted to even stir as he gets ready for his shift. Sometimes, when she's in deep sleep, a thoughtful little frown furrows on her brow. Lucas cannot physically get out of bed until he has smoothed it over with his lips. He used to want to prove to himself that he could thrive, even without her. He has given up on that. Now he just wants her. Scarlett, I hate bones. Lucas, I hate bones too. Scarlett, why do you hate bones? Shouldn't you hate brains? Lucas, bones steal you away from me. Brains keep me entertained when you're gone. Carl XVI Gustav starts rubbing against his shins the second he steps inside the kitchen, so Lucas glances at the magnetic board on the fridge. Cat and Nat. It reads, the cat ate. He crosses his arms. I know she has already fed you. Meow. She told me. She wrote it right there on the board. Meow. I'm not her. I will not be manipulated. Moa. He sighs and opens the treats cupboards. He finds it at work, during rounds, while patting the pockets of his white coat in search of a pen. The note reads, whenever you open this, I'm probably thinking of you. Occasionally, someone brings up his previous life. Do you really not miss swimming? Not really, no. Interesting. You know, there's an orthopedics resident here who used to be an Olympian a few years ago. Like in Paris, I want to say. Melbourne, Lucas corrects in his head. Diving, I think. The one in Paris? She and her partner got a bronze medal. Silver. Do you know of her? Lucas smiles. I am familiar, yes. They compare their schedules as soon as they receive them. Some months are better than others. Scarlett, how many times do you think we'll see each other in the next year? Lucas, at least one. Scarlett, right, the wedding. Lucas, 2. If we can both make the rehearsal dinner and neither of us has to send a proxy. Scarlett, sounds far-fetched. You must believe in fairy tales. Lucas, if trolls exist, anything can happen. This is Lucas, my best friend's fiancé, Penn says. He cannot help a small smile. What? The way you introduced me. Not her own ex. Not her own friend. It seems to occur to Penn, too. And her eyes widen. Oh, shit, I'm so sorry. I promise I love you and stuff. And stuff. Come on. You know I would throw myself under a bus for you. You absolutely would not. Well, under a tricycle. Better. I would throw myself under a bus for Scarlett, though. He can certainly relate to that. He's listening to a talk on ependymomas when his phone vibrates. Scarlett. Premise. Love being a doctor. Scarlett. Love corpse stuff. Scarlett, however. Scarlett, I cannot wait for next year when we're slightly less busy and can. Scarlett, see each other. Scarlett. He thinks. You have no idea. He slips into bed after 3 a.m. He usually waits until he's warmed up to pull her closer. When she's the one to roll into him, though, all bets are off. Oh my God. She mumbles in his chest. You actually exist. I thought I'd made up a whole Swedish fiancé. He smiles into her hair, heart too big and too full. Go back to sleep. No. Don't wanna. Why? Because. Because? You're not going to be here when I wake up. He smiles against her temple. Baby? Yeah? Remember how I covered Art's shift last week? Oh no. Are you covering another? Nope. Art is covering mine. Tomorrow. What? She pulls back. Her tired, dark eyes blink open. It can't be. It can. Surely you must be on call. Nope. It's impossible. Check again. He kisses her forehead. Just sleep. I will be here when you wake up. But what are we going to do with all that time together? I was hoping we'd sleep in. Then go at it like animals. Then maybe a quick break at the pool? Then back home, more animal stuff. Oh my God, Lucas. What are we, a couple? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. A minute later, she's asleep. The entire universe is here in his arms. Acknowledgements. As usual, it takes a whole metropolis. Infinite thanks to my therapist, and by therapist I mean my agent, Tao Lu, you know what you do. To my editor, Sarah Blumenstock, and my babysitting editors, Liz Sellers and Cindy Huang, who let me write the book I wanted to write, as opposed to the one I had, promised. Special thanks to Sarah, who endured years of daily harassment regarding sprayed edges. It pains me to say this, but blocking my number when you went on sabbatical was the right move. To my production editor, Jennifer Myers, my managing editor, Christine Legan, and my copy editor, all of whom, I'm sure, had to read way more sex scenes than they signed up for when they started working in publishing. To my marketing and publicity team, Bridget O'Toole, Kim Selina Tara O'Connor, and Kristen Cipolla, who have to deal with an increasingly unmarketable and unpublishable author. To my cover illustrator, Lilith Soar, my jacket designer, Vicky Chu, and my interior designer, Daniel Brount, for making my filthy book infinitely pretty. Thanks to my foreign publishers, and in particular to Aufbau, Roberto Rolando, Sarah, Astrid, Andrea, Martina, Sophia, and honorary Aufbau employee Alex. Please note that I would not like to thank Stephanie for lying to me about someone's ability to speak English, and Sphere, Molly, Clara, Lucy, Bryony, Lucy, for hosting me so warmly, allowing me to connect with amazing German and UK readers, and feeding me donor kebab and high tea. As usual, thank you, Jen, for the invaluable beta read. To my friends, family, and to the fellow authors I've had the privilege of meeting during this journey, I love you. To all the booksellers, librarians, and readers, I'm not sure I deserve you. But please know that I am very, very grateful.